What's up guys, Marcos here, back with another video. ¿Qué tal todos? Yo me llamo Marcos, aquí con un nuevo video. I'm a Canadian living here in Argentina. Soy un canadiense viviendo acá en Argentina. I came here to become fluent in Spanish. I was taking lessons in person, but as the Canadian dollar is dropping like crazy, now I call it the Canadian peso, I needed to find a cheaper way to learn Spanish. And with AI becoming the way of the future, I knew I wanted to implement this into how I learn it. After some experimenting, I came up with the process, and I'm going to share with you the exact steps I take now learning Spanish with AI. The game changer here is I came across a new AI system that's not ChatGPT that has boggled my mind, and I'm gonna reveal it to you guys. So to get started, my learning process is split into 3 parts. So for step 1, we're actually gonna use YouTube and we're gonna learn on there. For step 2, we're gonna use ChatGPT to get the repetition in. Step 3 is where we're gonna use this new AI to practice in conversation. So to start off the process, I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to learning a lesson, I prefer to learn it from a person, from an actual lesson, rather than immediately beginning on ChatGPT like a lot of the other videos do. That's why I start my process on YouTube, where I watch lessons from actual people teaching me the fundamentals of what I'm trying to learn that day. And as you can imagine, there's 100 different playlists on YouTube. The one that I've liked the most is by the language tutor Spanish. You are of course free to find one that you like, but this guy, his lessons are quick, his lessons are clear, and allows me to go and start practicing immediately after. So step 2. So once you've watched the video to actually learn the lesson, we're gonna head into ChatGPT to get step 2 going, repetition. This is like you've been given homework and you're just doing your reps to fully wrap your mind around what you've learned. So let's say I just watched a video on present subjunctive. We are now gonna ask ChatGPT to provide us with some fill-in-the-blank questions and an answer sheet so that we can start practicing and checking our answers. The prompt that I use to do this is the following. Please provide 20 fill-in-the-blank questions for present subjunctive in Spanish. Please provide an answer sheet on a separate page. Guys, I say please a lot just in case AI takes over. At least I'm being polite. And also I'm Canadian. And here you can even get more specific into which type of Spanish, which dialect of Spanish you want to learn. For example, here in Argentina, instead of using tú, we use vos, and instead of using vosotros, we use ustedes. So I can actually write this in with the prompt so that I'm practicing the relevant Spanish for me. Not only will filling in these blanks help you with the conjugation, but you're also going to be exposed to different examples of when this topic is used. Now I'll copy and paste these questions from ChatGPT into a note-taking software. In this case, I'm going to be using Microsoft OneNote and a Lenovo Yoga with a pen. I begin filling in these blanks with my pen, checking my answers as I go along, and of course, if I need more practice, I just ask ChatGPT, please generate me 20 more questions. So now once you've mastered whichever subject you are learning, we can take this even further and ask ChatGPT to give us full sentences that we can translate entirely by ourselves rather than just fill in the blanks. I'll ask ChatGPT the following. I'd like to practice present subjunctive in Spanish. Please generate 20 sentences in English for me to translate into Spanish. Provide an answer sheet on a separate page. And with that, copy and paste into my note-taking software, and I begin practicing and practicing until I get enough right that I'm confident to move on to the next level. Now for step 3, we actually want to begin using this in conversation, because that is how you're going to wrap it around in your brain and understand when you're actually supposed to use this subject that you just learned. Now I know that not everybody has the ability to just fly into a different country and start practicing with the locals, so there is a solution that I bring to you now. I want to introduce you to Langua. Now guys, this video isn't sponsored by them, but I actually did reach out to them and I got a discount code and link. Check that out in the description. Guys, the accuracy of the native accent and slang that Langua has is insane. Check this out.
Hola Che, ¿cómo andás? Contame de qué querés charlar hoy.
Hola boluda, quiero aprender algo re divertido de Argentina.
Bueno, si te copa podemos hablar del mate. Es alto ritual social acá y tiene sus propias reglas re locas. ¿Te interesa?
And guys, of course, you can select different accents of Spanish that you want to learn. We have Spain, Latin America, Mexico, Argentina, Colombia, Peru, Uruguay, and Chile. So guys, if you've tried to learn a language, you probably know that you actually have to practice speaking it. You have to practice listening to it for it to actually set in your brain. So I use Langua to practice speaking and listening to the things that I just learned through ChatGPT. So within Langua, I go to grammar practice and I do choose a tense and translate sentences from English to Spanish.
What tense would you like to practice? I will give you one sentence at a time to attempt to translate from English to Argentinian Spanish. If I provide a correction and you want to know why, please ask.
Present subjunctive.
I hope that you can visit Buenos Aires soon.
So guys, as you can see here, she understands both English and Spanish. So in English, I told her what I wanted to learn, and now she's going to provide me with sentences in English to translate into Spanish. That's going to use the tense that I asked her to.
Correct. I doubt that he knows how to cook empanadas.
Duro que él sepa cómo cocinar empanadas.
Correct.
So guys, I've just been practicing giving some sentences. Now, let's say I don't know the translation to some of these words or I get stuck. I can ask her questions in English and she's gonna help me out. What's the Spanish translation for the truth?
The truth in Spanish is la verdad, so now you can try to translate. It's important that you tell me the truth.
Es importante que me digas la verdad.
Correct.
So guys, now I'm gonna purposely get something wrong so we can see how she corrects me. No creo que ella entendes la problema.
No creo que ella entienda el problema. Note, problema is masculine in Spanish, so we use él.
So take a look. I got two things wrong in this question. They're both corrected live through writing. She tells me exactly why. So as you can imagine, I can sit here and I can practice for hours, translating, practicing my conjugation, and learning new vocabulary as we go along. So let's say I've practiced this for hours now and I want to take it to the next level where I actually have to listen to some Spanish and reply in Spanish as well. We're gonna go to grammar practice. Ask me targeted questions for practicing tenses.
What tense or other aspect of Argentinian Spanish grammar would you like to practice? I will ask you open-ended questions to facilitate this.
Present subjunctive.
¿Qué querés que tus amigos hagan este fin de semana?
Quiero que mis amigos festejen conmigo por mi cumpleaños.
Correct.
So guys, for this one, we're kind of taking it to the next level as we have to listen to what she says in Spanish and reply in English. As you can see here, she's asking me a question, kind of prompting me to reply with subjunctive in Spanish. And once again, if we don't understand what she's asking, if we need translations, we can ask her. Also, if there's a word in Spanish that you don't understand, you can just click on it. Trabajo translates to work, and now you know. There's a bunch of other features that Langua has that I did not touch on in this video, but what I showed you today should already be pretty freaking cool. Guys, if you want to check it out, there's a link in my description that you can use for 20% off annual subscriptions, or use my code Marcos20 for 20% off annual subscriptions. It's like getting 4 months for free if you use that code. And that is gonna wrap up my video for today. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you guys like this type of video, check out my channel, hit subscribe, because I have a bunch of vlogs from Argentina and we are learning Spanish. I will see you guys in the next one. Nos vemos.